Hello, I'm your host, Michela Lansing. Welcome to Everyday Persian. In this show, I'm going to teach you how to make Persian food from an authentic Persian girl. So today we're going to make a favorite vegetarian Persian dish called Kookoo Sabzi. Kookoo means, it's kind of a name for a frittata, like anything that's cooked with eggs. And then sabzi is just a collection of herbs, and depending on what kind of herbs do you like. In this particular dish, we're going to use 4 different kind of herbs. First herb we're going to use is dill. Dill is a very yummy herb, but it's pungent, it's flavorful, and it's not necessarily used in Persian, in non-Persian food like American food, but it's used a lot in Persian food. And then it's also very pungent and aromatic. The next herb we're going to be using is cilantro. Cilantro, of course, we all know, it's used in Mexican food and a lot of different food. And it has a really great soft flavor, and it adds smooth texture to your food. And then the last one is Italian parsley. I love Italian parsley because it's kind of crunchy, it's yummy, and it tastes really good. And then we'll add a leek to give it that oniony flavor, oniony taste. So first thing we do is grab a knife, make sure it's sharp, and you start chopping the herbs finely. You might need a little force chopping this, but it's worth it at the end. So we started chopping all the herbs, and then also 1 leek. Now, the thing about chopping leek is it's kind of difficult because it's kind of coarse and hard. So what you want to do is you do your best as far as chopping it. And then if there are a couple really large pieces in there, it's totally okay to take them out. So it gives it that nice smooth texture all throughout your kookoo. So here is that there are a couple of large pieces that I'm going to just put aside and not use it, and that's okay because you have enough to add to the flavor. So after we chop all of the herbs and the leek, we kind of gently mix it together, and after mixing it, you transfer all of your herbs. So we transfer all of the leek and herbs into the bowl. Now, if you like your herbs chopped more finely, you can do so. I like them a little crunchy so I can get the flavor of the leek. And then you add a little bit of salt, a pinch of salt to the mixture, grab a spoon and toss it. After you chop all your herbs and your leek and season them to your taste, it could be 1 tablespoon. I like salty, so I add a lot of salt to my food. But you transfer them to a nice bowl, nice clean bowl, and set them aside. Next step is basically the holding part, eggs. I usually like to use organic eggs because they have that yummy yolk flavor. So I use 6 eggs for 3 bunches of herbs and 1 leek. So if you want to make a larger portion, you have to add eggs to your food because it allows it to rise. So we're going to break the eggs, all 6 of them. Oopsie. And it's really, really important that you beat the eggs well, because if you don't beat them, it kind of doesn't rise with herbs, and it doesn't give it that texture, the fluffy texture. So here we are, last one. 6 eggs. Get your whisker. You need a whisker. Do not use fork. Fork doesn't work because it kind of doesn't give you that perfect texture, perfect smooth mixture. So you beat all the eggs. You beat them for about 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Add a pinch of salt to your eggs. After you beat your eggs, 6 of them, and make sure that it's all smooth, all across. There are no white parts and yellow separated. We're going to do the step that is rather different. And it's more difficult if you're not instructed properly. So pay close attention. We're going to move to the stove and show you how to cook the kookoo part. So follow me. In this section, you are going to need a really nice frying pan, your chopped herbs, your 6 eggs, and some either olive oil or canola oil, and a fresh plate. First step is we're going to turn on the fire and heat up some oil. I like about 4 tablespoons of oil. So it's really because herbs usually absorb a lot of water and also absorb a lot of oil. So you want to make sure that your herbs are covered and also cooked well. So you heat up the oil. And then you add your herbs to it. You start hearing the sizzle, and that's always a great sign. Keep your heat high. So after you fry all your herbs, you want them to kind of be crispy and dark at the end. You add a little bit of pepper, not too much, and kind of toss it around and just make sure that all the corners and everything is cooked. And then you flatten out the herbs and get it ready to pour your egg mixture into the herb. So you create a circle, so you actually have, at the end, you have a circular frittata coming out. So you grab your eggs and then you pour it all around in a circular motion. And very gently kind of mix the egg with your herbs. You don't want any breakage in the middle because you want to have like an even frittata coming out. So you move the edges inward, make sure it kind of holds, and just move. You see how beautifully yellow and green it's turning? That's what you want. You want an even layer of herbs on top. And then you turn the heat kind of medium low, because you don't want it to burn, so you have to remove that high heat from your equation, and just keep on doing this all around, this circular motion, and let your frittata cook. I like to put a cover on. Some people don't. When you don't put a cover on, it actually gets a little drier. And after we cook the kookoo for about 4 or 5 minutes, it's time to flip it. This is a difficult part. So we're going to get turn the heat low, get a plate, and put the plate on top. This is how we're going to flip it. You can do the traditional way, which you flip, but this is a little bit easier. So you flip it and roll it back ever so gently in your plate, in your frying pan, and then cook for another 1 or 2 minutes. So after you flip your frittata back into the frying pan and let it cook for another 1 or 2 minutes, it's time to transfer the frittata into a fresh plate and ready to eat. So here we are. You turn the heat off. And ever so slightly, you transfer it into a fresh plate. Now that you made your kookoo, it's time to share it with your family. One of the best ways to eat kookoo is with yogurt, feta cheese, any kind of feta cheese that you like. You can have Greek feta, Danish feta, Persian feta. Also with some very nice crispy fresh bread. I like to use lavash or pita bread or any kind of flatbread that you enjoy. So come and join us. I can't wait to taste it and see how it is.